Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Fellowship of Fans and the Fellowship of Fandoms podcast. My name is Strider, and here with me is Shiv. Tonight, we are continuing our rewatch of the Wheel of Time series. Sadly, it is at the end of July 2025, and there haven't been any really good news about the renewal just yet. The fandom is still pushing for this. We are still hoping that the show will get somehow picked up by another company, perhaps Apple Plus or Netflix. I think those two are like the two fan favorite contenders for the spot. The petition to renew the show has actually reached 200,000 not subscribers, but how do you call this? Like signatures, I guess. Yeah, and there's still a lot of activity with this. However, yeah, as I said, I think the things don't look very good for now. But that will not stop us, specifically Shiv and myself, and maybe some other people of the Fellowship of Fans who will join us in the future episodes to keep our rewatch going through. And yeah, we are now midway through season 2, and I'm just gonna ask my good friend Shiv here, how are you doing, and how do you like the show so far?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty good. And I want to say it was late episode 4 of the season and definitely episode 5 where there's kind of a switch that flipped in my brain of like, oh, the show's it went from like being good to great in my opinion, or at least it went from being like amused to like, oh, I have to watch the next episode now. So yeah, I feel like maybe that's a long runway for certain people to get a season and a half in before they're like invested. But like, I don't know. Thinking back on previous shows, it takes a little bit to get things moving along. So, and I'm rambling. It's only been a couple minutes of this thing. I'm already rambling. Not good.
No, I think you were doing great. I think you were exactly on point with this. No. I will not let you scold yourself this time. You did not earn this yet. You have been doing really good for all the 20 seconds you've been talking.
I'll show you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think this there's a lot of heavy lifting that a show like this needs to do in to set things up before it can start rolling right away. I feel like we kind of take these things for granted now, and I think, for example, Game of Thrones started off with a really good season, but even then, I was not enjoying all the storylines. There were times where I was like, I'm not, on board with everything. So I think that's fair. So saying, hey, it took me a little bit to get into Wheel of Time. I think, especially as someone who, like myself, hasn't read the books, didn't know anything about the show before, I think that that's a perfectly all right reaction. Um, but yeah, so tonight we are going to cover, or at least we're going to try to cover, from episodes 3 to 6 using our brand new method. The credit goes to one of the folks of the Fellowship of Fans crew that has proposed a name for this podcast to be the Groot. Let me show you who I'm talking about. The Groot, the Bat, and the Ugluk. And we have decided to make this basically the kind of categories that we're going to be using to discuss at least Wheel of Time. We'll see if this hits off, and perhaps for other future things as well. We'll explain the categories as we go. But yeah, I'm just gonna real quick ask Shiv, what do you think? What was your reaction to this proposal to use these three categories as like forming our opinions on a certain piece of media?
Yeah, I think alluding to what I just said earlier, me and you tend to ramble a bit, so it's giving us a bit of guide rails to swerve into when we need to. So, I mean, this particular episode is going to be pretty hefty, right? Because we're covering episode 3 to 6, and we're going to try to do it in a timely manner. So yeah, this will be our guardrail to kind of stay in the lanes.
Yeah. So basically, the Groot is the good stuff. The Bat is the cool stuff, and the Ugluk is things that might have made us a bit uncomfortable, or maybe things that didn't work, or things that just felt rough. They're within a story, as in maybe there was an uncomfortable scene, or maybe some CGI didn't work out or something like that. This is not to give the heat to orcs or to this lovely chap Ugluk. Orcs were created by the dark forces, tortured, mutilated, terrible life form, and it's not their fault. Maybe somebody doesn't like orcs, but there's redeeming qualities to them as well. They are the children of Eru Iluvatar, the one god of Middle Earth, and that doesn't mean this whatever we're going to put in this category is bad or ugly or something. It just means that for whatever reason, it might have been a bit rough on the edges, like orcs tend to be. So I think we can actually start off with this category. So Shiv, what are you can maybe tell us like what are your 3 things that you would put in this category? So 3 things that you either felt like didn't work out properly, like orcs being a deviation of elves, or things that have made you uncomfortable, like orcs sometimes can do, or some other similar emotion that could be grouped into this category. So 3 things, top to bottom.
3
You don't have to
things.
rank them in a specific order, but just yeah.
Okay. I would start with episode 3 then. One of the storylines, at least right now, I don't know the history of this character and how he is portrayed in the books, etc. But Loghain's help in learning, or like how Rand is kind of trying to learn from Loghain and how to control the power. And basically, the lesson was, yeah, you can't control it. It kind of seemed like a lot of build up for not much of a payoff, and not being a book like the reader of this book series, I'm not sure if there will be a future with Loghain. Like maybe he comes into play later on and it kind of makes more sense. But that was my first Ugluk, as you said. Should I jump into my next one?
Yeah, maybe let's go through all 3 and then we can come back and comment.
Okay. My next one is from episode 6. And is it episode 6? Oh yeah, okay. I think we shared this one. So this is more of like the contents of the scene made it more rough around the edges, but it's not a critique to anything. Like it's actually a really well done scene. It's just a scene that was a little bit rough, which was the torture scenes with Egwene. I think like the actress did a great job. The way they block the shots and everything, you like really feel for her in these scenes of how much they're breaking her down to turn her into what are they called? Damane. Damane. It's close. Dang.
Yeah, almost there.
So I think it did a pretty good job. I don't know if this is a good example, kind of reminiscent of Grey Worm, Unsullied.
Yeah. Yeah, Unsullied. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that, like parallel, I guess.
Okay.
So that's number 2, and number 3. This could be a thing where maybe it was done better in the books, or maybe it's a deviation, but the Min storyline, how it kind of culminates in episode 6 of how she gets a vision of Matt killing Rand, and she could basically convince Matt not to go with Rand. My critiques there are, because I don't know how visions work yet in this world. Is the vision still going to come true regardless of the change of plans? Like, is it like a destiny thing where like, no matter what happens, Matt's going to end up with Rand and kill him? Or by him not going, did it actually change the fate of his timeline? I don't know if that's been really explained in the show. So that's where I kind of put that rough around the edges of like, I don't know how the magic and all that works right now. So, and maybe it's supposed to be that way. I know I'm going to learn in the future.
All right, I think that's fair. Well, I'll just quickly comment on them. I think the story with Rand and actually it's kind of on my Ooglook list as well. Matt and Min and Rand and Loghain. So we're kind of jumping like across all episodes. I think I really like Matt and I like Min. I think they have a good chemistry, but I think you are right that maybe it's not a clear though. I think for me it worked, but I can see why it could be a little bit odd for someone. Like for me also it's like a rewatch, so I'm not sure how I felt on my first viewing. But yeah, I think this bit as well for Rand and Logain, I agree with that as well. That was also on my list. It's just kind of like a lot of build up, a lot of this is this something's going, like, are we going to get like some training montages or something with them, and it just kind of like doesn't happen. Like he has this big revelation, or you cannot control it, and that's kind of it. I forgot what was your. I know actually it ties into why I have it here as well. So I'll get back to Egwene, but for me, Erwin and the Shinirans, they all went for the hunt for the Horn of the Valir. They get captured by the Xianchan, and I thought they were. I kind of have odd feelings about it. Like it felt pretty cool. Like when they get introduced, it's like, okay, these are people that are scary, and you can see the enslaved female channelers doing things like, and these two sultans, I think, those controlling behind them. I thought that was all very interesting, but I felt like the choreography might have been a bit lacking with some of the fight scenes when they get captured, and there's one or two gruesome moments that kind of weren't like the happiest thing to see on screen. But I do feel like they were presented as like a proper threat to the whole group, and they were certainly very intriguing. You can see like there's a lot of culture there. Like the masks were really intimidating because they have those like almost like skeleton, like skull head masks, and the thing they have with their nails, like a symbol of status. That was all very interesting. And but I remember my first viewing, I did not expect Shamel to be there. So I was like, what the hell? Why is he here? What's happening? But I thought that was pretty cool. But again, there was like a lot of this gruesomeness that is surrounding the Xianchan, and that actually also does lead us to Egwene, and this lady's name is Rena. I feel like the actress portraying Egwene really is managing. Like I look at her stance and attitude, and like she's not like this buff uh wrestler lady or something. Like she kind of has this like more lean stature, but like I feel like in her posture and like there's like it's like when you see something, I'm not sure what to compare it with, that's not maybe like a cliche, but it's like there's like a skeleton of steel inside of Egwene. Like I really felt throughout all the crap that she's going through that there's like this real tough stubbornness inside her that's not letting her down, like something just keeps her going. um but yeah, I thought that was not a happy viewing on this on my rewatch, to be honest. What did you, maybe let's dive in because this is kind of like a big deal. What did you think of this lore part, and like what were your, because I guess, okay, we said our three things for this category, but let's just discuss because this is also like a big deal in the lore. What were your thoughts about this? Do you have any questions maybe that you were curious about regarding this?
I think it's kind of interesting. I I'm sure if I reflect on it, maybe it reminds me of other franchises. But at the time of viewing, I was like, oh, that's kind of unique. Where like basically someone has magic, for lack of a better word, but they're harnessed by another individual and controlled to actually orchestrate the power. And I thought that was kind of unique. It does seem like I'm wondering what value that brings. Like, why can't the person that just has the magic do the things? Like, why does it have to be someone else? Like, is it to control the power? Or, yeah, was that ever explained? Like, do you have any background there?
Uh, well, this is where the fact that I'm not a book reader comes into the forefront. I am not completely sure how this works. I think maybe it gets explained a bit more later, but I think the point is that they don't tend to practice magic on their own that much, maybe, or like it's maybe reserved for some very high tier people in that culture. but they
Hmm.
get these magical slaves that are like very strong. It's like getting, stronger with the force, and then you kind of slave them to do things for you. So maybe they're not that talented with magic. I'm not sure what's the story with them, to be honest. I think there's more context to it given later episodes, why they do things this way. But either way, they are definitely like this is a very bad form of slavery, because the magic that's been portrayed so far, the way the weave and the channeling has been portrayed, it's like essential to the being of a person. So it's like a very terrible invasion of a body or like a spirit. I forgot what's the proper term for that. So I'm not completely sure what's like the lore depth, but I think we get more answers to it, more context to it later.
Okay. And then another side note in this storyline is the actor that plays Rena is also in the show Fallout. And it took me, I was like, why do they look so familiar?
What?
And yeah,
Who is she in Fallout?
Dane. Dane, I think the character was, oh man, it's been a while since I watched Fallout, but I want to say it was the character that helped do the mechanic work on the suits or the robot suits.
Oh my god, yeah, she's one of them, right? I absolutely did not recognize her. Same person. Is this one, right?
Yeah, yep.
Wow, okay, I did not know that. I
The
think
voice is what got me. I was like, this voice sounds so familiar, and yeah, look it
good
up.
catch. I absolutely did not get that. I mean, Arena is absolutely like awful and terrible. Like this whole thing is so very much Ugluk, Ugluk. It's really ugly, really messed up. But the actress is doing a kick-ass job. Like, damn, that's impressive acting to be. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
those were not nice scenes to watch, and yeah, I think there's a couple episodes more with her, and it's not it's not nice.
Oh boy,
But
got
yeah,
stuff to look forward to.
yeah. Do you have so let's just real quick talk. So do you have the about like the technicality of this? So there's this ring, like a collar that's a magical collar that's put pardon me, around the neck of a person, and then it basically forms into this unbreakable collar, and then there's like this magical leash basically that connects to the like the chief person, the owner basically. um I mean, that's a very terrible thing to see, but it's very interesting. And I'll just say, like, remember this type of artifact for later. It gets brought up once or twice.
Nice.
Okay. Um, yeah. Anyway, so we see also that Ishi, as people like to call him, is here plotting amongst the Xianshan in their society. He's kind of like moving his way up, and yeah, I just thought that was an interesting little thing there. Do you have any particular thoughts about the Xianshan, and then we can move to the next category?
Yeah. So I thought the character was very scary. Like the I don't know what hierarchy she is, but like when she wasn't really talking and using her nails to communicate, I thought that was like really creepy. But I feel like
Sure.
they just like totally side railed that character with whatever like she gets like demoted and stuff like pretty quickly. So I'm sure there's reasons for that to show like maybe the political uprising in this culture or like the I'm sure there's reasons for it. But yeah, I thought they could have kept her as a pretty crazy character, or at least I wish they showed more of her at this level of power, so we get a little bit more of that before getting demoted. Because I feel like it's pretty quick. She went from being scary to no, you're demoted. So yeah, that's
Yeah, that's fair.
and then as always the wardrobe of what were you saying? His nickname's Izzy
Ishi.
Ishi.
As Shamael Ishi.
Ishi. Yeah, the wardrobe is still jarring. I don't and I think there is that play on like, okay, well, this is based in the future and maybe he's wearing futuristic wardrobe like I'm sure there's something to do with that, but he sticks out so much. So yeah, that's the other thing too, is he almost seems like a Littlefinger right now. Like he's plotting different things. So like Littlefinger's scary for his political abilities, but he wasn't necessarily a scary person. Like he wasn't brutal or anything like that, from what I remember. But maybe I need to rewatch. And I feel like that's what this character is. Like I want to be more scared of him, but with the wardrobe and what we've seen so far, I'm just like, oh, this guy is walking around with almost a tuxedo. So yeah,
Yeah,
I guess that's a
I can,
small uglug for me.
I can see where that's coming from. I think, um, I think his costumes are getting better, but I can see why you would say all of that. And yeah, but I do like. I have to say, I do like the actor. I think it's a very interesting choice, and like his whole aesthetic with the suit and so on. The one thing I'll say is, and it's not like a hint towards anything, it's just the way I see it. You know, he's I guess immortal, kind of, at least effectively immortal, seemingly. Okay, they were, sealed for 3,000 years or whatever, but still, like it seems like they are like the Forsaken. They seem to be immortal. And I think because of this, they can afford to just go around and scheme in these areas for a long time to wait for like fruition of whatever plan they have. Because they can afford, like, they can just wait it out. So I guess that can explain his patience with some things.
Hmm, that's
But yeah,
fair.
I can totally see where that's coming from. But let's now move to the Groot. So this is the good stuff, the Groot stuff. Uh, what are your three things? And maybe we this time we try to talk one by one, and
Okay.
we can try not to ramble too much. So yeah, what's your first Groot?
Okay, I'm gonna switch my categories. I think I made my Groots my bats, so I'll see if this works out. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So for Groot number one, episode 4, and it's kind of just like for the season. I highlighted Perrin continues traveling with Elias and begins to bond with a wolf named Hopper. I kind of like his storyline and like learning about his magic and the people and bonding with his wolf and stuff. I don't know. I just liked it, and I thought it's. I mean, I guess making more comparisons to Game of Thrones, it's kind of similar to Brand and the Three-Eyed Raven, and like connecting with ravens, but with that, he's kind of using the ravens for sight. And with this, it's more like I like how there's like a bond element to it. Like he's bonding with the wolf. There's the vision aspect of seeing things that happened in the past. Which I guess Three-Eyed Raven, he sees what past, present, future. So I guess it is a little bit of that, but I think it's a unique spin to it.
The Three-Eyed Raven is on a far beyond
Yeah.
level, but yeah, but I guess they do kind of exist on the same axis to.
Yeah, so I would say I'm liking his storyline. Maybe I had criticisms in our earlier episodes, but now I'm turning around to it, and I like the story.
Well, I'll just jump in real quick and I'll say that Perry and Hopper are on my Groot list as well.
Oh,
It's just sweet, and Perrin is actually one of my favorite characters, and he keeps getting better and better. And I feel like he was on a back foot throughout season one, and he's kind of like coming into his own, and I think he just gets cooler and cooler. And yeah, and I love. I mean, who's a good boy, Having Hopper on screen, hell yeah. So yeah, just good stuff. I'll just straight up agree there with you, and I don't have to say much. What's your next? What's next on your the Groot list?
next on the Groot list, um, I had Nynaeve, Elaine, and Egwene getting delivered to the Cianchin by Leandrin. I kind of liked that storyline of what is she technically a Black Aes Sedai, right? Or
Black.
she's in the red Black Aja, yeah. I kind of like that twist and how she's kind of becoming. We're seeing more and more of her corruption. Like she broke the rule and she was keeping her son alive, and then she just sacrifices 3 of the star pupils, if you will, and sent them over to the enemy, or presumed enemy, I guess I should say. Um, yeah, so I like that twist. I kind of wasn't seeing it coming, but this show throws a lot of storylines at you, so I guess some of them can slip by. But yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, let me see. I think I have that as well. So yeah, the interesting thing there was, so we kind of saw more of Leandri's backstory, and as far as I understand, it's not as, you don't see as much as in the books, but we
Hmm.
saw she has her son and he's suffering, and there's a lot of depth to Leandrin, and we later see actually that she kind of make a deal in order to that might help her save him, if I remember correctly. That she made a deal with the Dark One, and yeah, I think it is very. She's a very interesting character, Leandrin, and the thing that I really enjoyed is when Leandrin comes to that evil lady of the Xianchan. Um, that's this scene basically. Um, when she's leaving, she wakes up and gets that magical handcuffs, let's say, off of the 3 girls, and she kind of gives them a fighting chance, and that's why Nynaeve and Elaine managed to escape, and sadly, Egwene gets captured. I thought that was like another extra little nuance to Leandra's character, because she was like, "Okay, I'm doing this thing because I made the deal with the dark. I gotta do this. I made the deal with the devil. I have to do this, but I don't like it, and I do feel bad for doing this. So I'm gonna give them a little fighting chance, especially as a middle finger to this lady, because they had like a bit of a standoff, like, "Oh, you're gonna bow to me. No, you're gonna bow to me. No, you're gonna bow to me," and so on and so on. So I thought that was a really cool little moment, which I really liked. Leandrin just showing a complexity to this character that's low key one of my favorite characters, even though obviously she's really bad.
Oh, well said. Well said.
Yeah. Okay, so we are 2 for 2 for now. What's your third one? Third Groot.
Third Groot. Oh yeah, okay. Third Groot. Lanfear shows Rand Egwene's suffering and warns that if she ever sees Moraine near him again, she'll kill her. I don't know why, but I'm really loving that. Like, I don't know if you can call it a love triangle, 'cause it's not really that. I like how, like, built into the lore, the Lanfear falls in love with the dragon, but the dragon likes someone else. Like, I like how it's built into the destiny, I guess. And like, yeah, this scene here where she's kind of torturing him in his dreams, right? Um, yeah, I like that. It's like kind of well, yeah, I'm not like a history buff, so maybe there's like Greek mythology that have something similar, but this I feel like is a bit of a unique, or a path that not many storytellers go in terms of fantasy that have crossed my path at least. So I really liked it. And
Yeah,
I think I
I
have a crush
yeah.
on that actress as well.
Oh yeah. Is this because of this photo? Because yeah, yeah, I think Lanfear is really cool. I remember when we talked about the first 2 episodes, you were like, "Oh, I wonder where this is going." It's like, "Oh, surprise! She's one of the most evil people on the planet." Um, but she is really cool. The actress is absolutely nailing this. Like, there's depth. There's also depth to her. Like, it's not like, "Oh, I'm evil." It's like she loves. Well, she loved the previous dragon, and I don't know. It's complicated to think in terms of how eternal love works when it comes to reincarnations. But I think it's really cool the way Lanfear's character is approaching this, and I mean, the actress is just really, 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 really cool, and I appreciate, and especially knowing, like, some things that come afterwards. Like, she's just really cool, and yeah, she's very charismatic and very dramatic. Like, she has like a lot of flair to her. I mean, like, this scene, I remember watching this for the first time, and like when Rand ends up on this cliff in his dreams, and it's like, oh damn, okay, oh damn, and then they zoom into her office, like, okay, yeah, okay, cool, 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 Rand, I get you, my boy. um,
And and the
yeah,
actress, like I think I mentioned it in the previous podcast, but She was in Peaky Blinders, and there's some parallels even with that character because there's like that conflicted, like being around. Well, I guess okay. In this case, Rand, like right now, we're hoping is going to be a good dragon, right? Bring balance to everything. But in Peaky Blinders, she's kind of really close to a very, I guess, dirty slash complicated character who tries to make choices that are good for his family but end up being very detrimental. And she kind of has a similar part to play in that, where like her acting range is insane, like being able to stand up against complicated individuals like that, showing vulnerability and stuff. Oh, she's great. 12 out of 10. Love her.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. She's really cool. Her casting, I mean, it's hard to. It maybe doesn't make sense to keep repeating this, but she is also one of my favorite characters. But I feel like there's a lot of people who are one of my favorite characters actually, and especially like when you get to season 3, you can really see like the casting is really good. Just across the board, casting is actually really good. And but there are like some really really good standouts, like people who just nail their roles, and this is easily, certainly, absolutely one of them. um so yeah, I think I would just like to real quick, because they're kind of like counterparts. Like there's a lot of chess match, there's kind of like a chess match going on there, um with a lady I'm gonna show you on screen. So I just wanna quickly mention Moiraine and Rosamund Pike, because she's absolutely nailing stellar. She's one of these peak standouts in the whole show. So yeah,
100%.
just a quick shout out to her for being awesome. Okay, I'm going to. So I kind of overlapped with you so far, but the third Groot for me, the third good thing in these 4 episodes. So the thing that I'm putting in like top 3 good things was, and let me just see if I can find a good photo of that. This lady called Varen, who is of the brown Ajah. Okay, let me just find her. So she's one of those. Okay, I think I got a photo, maybe of a good quality. So she's one of Moiraine's allies, and um, she's kind of on a quest to figure out what's happening in the tower. And I'm trying to find out. Okay, apologies for the delay. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I'm
Okay,
sure once I see
here we
it.
go.
Yes.
This lady. So she is kind of like moving her way through the tower, and she realizes, with the help of some people from her brown Ajak, which is like this knowledge people. That's where Leandrin, in one of the episodes, in one of their interactions, is kind of mocking her, like, "Did you write your incredibly boring and tedious history of the world or whatever?" And yeah, but I think she's really cool. There's a little bit of a sass with this lady. The actress is nailing this really nice, like very politely. I'm just going to politely ask you this very pointed question, because actually, whatever you answer, even if you try to avoid it, I'm going to get something from you. And I think it's just really cool to see like this some verbal sparring, and I feel like the intellect of this character is on display in the way she's portrayed. So that was my good thing. I just like this little investigation, as well, with in a pair with this younger Aes Sedai, and the way they realized that that main lady that's the chief novice administrator or whatever was under like a compulsion spell, and they kind of figured this out, and I thought that was pretty cool. So what did you think of this little subplot?
That was a great highlight. I totally agree. Yeah, it's kind of yeah, the sass. I look. It kind of reminds. Oh God, I keep going to Game of Thrones for whatever reason today, but it reminds me of Tyrion a bit. And
Mm.
how his dialogue is written. But yeah, this one's definitely more polite and pointed, but I love that, like the game of chess with dialogue, and you really see that shine through with this actress. And I think I started, so I was trying to watch every episode before we record, but I think I went over and watched a little bit of the next episode, and I think she had a bigger role in that one as well. And we'll talk about that next episode. But um, yeah, you know what? It kind of reminds me of Andor. That might be a good me and my connections. A lot of the Andor, like politic and spying and stuff, it has a lot of that, especially with the recent season. So yeah,
Yeah, there's
there's my
the most recent spy itch that we
yeah,
have.
there's
Yeah,
my
I can
obligatory other reference.
other franchise reference. Yeah, let me see if we missed something just before we go to the next bit.
And I
Okay,
think our
so
guardrails are working because we're at like 40 minutes right now. We're
I was
doing
just
good.
thinking,
Good time.
yeah. So I think there's a few bits that need to be mentioned because there are big things that can happen. So I'll maybe we can just comment on them real quick as like a little sprinkle on top, and then we go to the bad, the cool stuff, the really cool stuff, because we also already had a lot of cool stuff. So we find out that well, we knew her full name before, Moiraine Damodred. However, we find out that she is actually the heir, the older sister to this family, Damodred. That was this very distinguished family. Um, and yet they had a fall from grace, which I'm pretty sure is connected to a certain thing that gets revealed in season 3. Um, so I'm just gonna tell you that you should keep in mind the fact that her family had a fall from grace in like the last century, let's say.
Hmm.
And yeah, I thought this was an interesting thing. I did not expect this. I did not expect her to be the sister with this lady when the lady first appeared on that little banquet that Rand and Celine went to. But I thought that was a very interesting storyline, and I really liked their dynamic, seeing them interact after many decades. I mean, Rosamund Pike is just insane. The things she can, the emotions she can show with her eyes, like her eyes just looking and like moving, like the muscles around the eyes, like 15,000 emotions. Like it's crazy. Like she's so good. She was absolutely terrific in all of this. So yeah, what were your thoughts about like this little subplot here and like the reveal? Did you see it coming? Did you not care about it that much? Did you think it was cool? What did you think? And we also meet her nephew who's about to marry the queen of this state, Irene.
Guess with everything going on, I put it in the background. I did think it was interesting, right? If I heard you right and remember it right, um, technically, if she's the older sister, when she should be the rightful heir to the kingdom. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
figured hearing that at the time, like, ooh, is this going to be like a potential plot thing for the future of strife within her family? She takes over. I like don't know if they would go that route with her, but it shows her dedication to her mission with the Aes Sedai. So choosing similar, I guess, parallel to the other character that's friends with Egwene, who comes from, is it Elaine?
Elaine. Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of a similar thing where she's a princess or what have you,
she
and
is.
she's getting this Aes Sedai training now. Yeah, but and I didn't know. Yeah, the background you just gave though, I didn't even realize there was the fall in her family. I must have missed that dialogue.
I mean, we're also covering like almost 4 hours of TV, so there's a lot. And I can pick up these things way easier because it's my rewatch, and I know where things are going and so on, so I know what to keep an eye out for. Um, yeah, there's a moment where her sister says that she has worked her entire life to get them back up because they were ridiculed, they were mocked. I think she even says she had to beg for food at some point,
Wow.
which if you're like a Lannister or the equivalent of like this huge house. Not I'm not saying that they were bad or something. I'm just saying like a Lannister or a Targaryen or a Stark or whatever, and then you come to a point where you have to beg for food. It's like that's a big deal. That's like a very big issue that
Wow.
must have happened. But it will make sense if it is I think it makes sense with what I know that's coming, the reveal. I think it makes perfect sense that that's the thing that was the fall from grace. I don't know what else it would be. But yeah, I
Interesting.
thought, oh yeah, it is really interesting. I think there were actually one or two sneaky references even now, but it's like you gotta know what you're looking for. But to cut the rambling, skipping to one other thing, and then we're going to the big stuff. So we have Perrin, who is hanging out with Avienda, who is one of the she's an Aiel warrior that Perrin has saved from the he helped her so that he helped her save herself because she is she is a very good dancer with the spear. So he saves her from a cage, and then they basically manage to get out of this village there was a lot of white cloaks. And she says that her water is his, and she has tow.
Well, I think you should throw up the bat image real quick because that was on my bat list.
Oh, the segue. Let's go.
Yes.
So the bat,
So
the cool stuff, and we go right to the Aiel. All right.
yeah. Yep. So I put as one of my bats. So related. I really liked overall the scene of Perrin in that village with the being occupied by the white cloaks. I thought it did a good job of like the tension was in the atmosphere even without seeing the white cloaks. Like they did a good job of depicting that and being surrounded
That's a
and
great point.
having so I really like that. And I also highlighted for in the same point, like I like the capture, like the rescue scene. I didn't mind the choreography. I thought it was pretty crazy. Like her takedowns were like impressive. And the tension in that scene was pretty great. Like I was like, oh, I don't even know where this is gonna end, and he ends up saving her, and kind of tying it off and relating to what you were talking about with the her water is his and all that. I'm like, oh, is this going to be a new love interest? When language like that is used, it kind of gives instant trust. I feel like he should, or the viewer, I should say, maybe not the character, the viewer should trust her implicitly because she's saying like I owe you. So what that could do in a narrative structure is she could betray him and it would be a pretty out of nowhere thing because me as a viewer I'm listening to that going, "Oh yeah, it definitely sounds like she's authentically owes him for this." So we might get let down as viewers, but it's yeah, I think that's interesting. I'm curious to see where their storyline goes.
Yeah, I think those are good points. She's cool. Yeah, like when an Aiel says, because I don't think it's a spoiler because I know you haven't maybe picked up on all this because obviously there's so much in this world. But there were mentions before of like Aiel being this very like tough warriors, which we saw, and also I think that like an honor is also like almost implicitly bound with them with such culture, and it is a big deal here. So her saying wherever you go, I'm going with you now because though you might know, she means that. I don't think
Wow.
it's a spoiler to say this. Like there's not going to be any little will she won't she betray him or something. Like no, it's pretty straightforward, so I don't think it's a particular spoiler. And it's a cool dynamic, I think. And yeah, I think that is a solid bat. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you, do you remember the three arches?
Yes.
that
Yep.
was that was a test that Nynaeve had to go through.
So that's one of your bats. You like the
That
test.
is that is one of my bets. Not maybe as much that I necessarily enjoyed it because it was terrible. But I think it was a really cool world building thing, like a sequence, and I think it was also very interesting because it is said that no one so that what happens is you go through one to second to the third. It's kind of reminiscent of like almost like the mirror of Galadriel, where you kind of see like things that were, things that are, and some things that have not yet come to pass. Like it's unclear whether it's alternate timelines. Is it past, future, memories? Some of them are, but some of them aren't. So there's a lot of ambiguity to it. And I thought that was very interesting, even though it's terrible what she goes through. Um, I thought that was a very interesting, like, moment of like depth of the world, like another one where we just see, there's this thing as well. Wow. So I would say that is one of my bats.
Hmm.
So yeah, what did you think of that? Do you have any thoughts? And like, what did you think of the cop out? Like how? I'm sorry, not the cop out, the plot twist that she went to one. It was her memory of her childhood. She went to the other one. She comes out all like covered in blood. That's not hers, but she doesn't remember what happened. Then she goes in the third one, uh, comes out, but she is so distraught that she decides to leave the White Tower. And then the twist is that actually then she bumps into Lan. And let me see if I can. There's a good photo of Lan being yeah. She bumps into Lan. She decides to stay with him because she tells her, "Oh, I'm not with Moraine anymore." And it's like it works. Like he can trick you as a viewer because he is not with Moraine. We know this like as a fact in actual present time. He's not with Moraine anymore. So we see the two of them. Luckily, the scene doesn't trick you too much because we see the doors opening behind her, the way back, as they say, but she doesn't. And then we realize, oh, she's still in the vision and she stays in it. So, what did you think of this? Like, did you guess that there's this twist that she actually didn't go out, even though it looked like she went out? Or what were your thoughts about this whole thing, like the
Yeah,
trial in general, and then this particular twist?
yeah. I feel like there's so much going on in the show that the twist totally got me until the door kind of showed up in the background and disappeared. I like was totally believing that this was current time and not a vision. So that's kudos to the writers and the editors, everyone who blocked this to make it the way it was. Totally fooled me. And I feel like I'm usually pretty good at sniffing out like twists. Like I remember ruining uh what was it, The Sixth Sense for my entire family because I guessed it the second like we were all watching it first time. I'm like within like 5 minutes of the movie, I was like, he's been dead the whole time. So
Uh,
ruined it for the entire. But yeah, yeah, this one was a total surprise. So kudos to the writing, the editing, and all that. It was a good twist. But and then to add on to pile on to it too, the like getting her back sequence too. Like I don't know if it's one of those you gotta just suspend disbelief or your belief, whatever. So the original like the leaders of the White Tower, they like open
yeah,
the
those three
door,
ladies. Yeah.
yeah, and she's distracted. And then how did it work out where Nynaeve and them knew to go there to get there at the right time for her to open the door for her vision to be at the point where she's like, oh crap, I'm in a vision, I need to leave. Like the timing of that had to be perfect. Like they could have
Mm.
opened the door while she's sleeping in her, I don't know, like yeah, I'm rambling, but that's
No, no,
I
I
guess.
get what you mean. I think it. I mean, I have no idea. The way I see it, it could be that this whole thing, whatever it is, because it's kind of a mystery to them as well. Still, to I said, even though they've been using it for hundreds of years, I feel like it's like this thing works in a way that it's not going to happen when you sleep. It's going to happen like because it's messing with your brain. It will happen so that you can make the choice. I guess.
That okay, that would make sense because the other part, I guess, plot hole or whatever I was thinking is like, so they open the door once and then that's it. They like the people stay trapped in there. It's like they don't give them a second
Yeah.
chance. So, and that's what they said, right? They said the door opens once
Mhm.
and you have to make the choice. So, um,
But it's not that. I think it's not that they. I don't think it's like the ladies, like the Aes Sedai, that decide on this. I think it's more like the system itself is such that it doesn't give you a second chance. So the fact that it
hmm,
gave it to Nynaeve, I have no idea why the hell that happened. I don't know if it makes sense with her, um, her power, like her power levels that are off the charts. Like, I don't know. I think they do say that they do not completely understand how these things work.
That's fair.
So yeah, there's that. Now, whether it's one of those things where it's like I'll keep it vague so I can use it for the plot as it suits me, or there's more depth to it, maybe someone in the comments can tell us more, I guess. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. It was really nice to see, Matt and Perrin just having a nice time before they get obviously murdered by the Trollocs. But like getting a little bit of happiness. But and oh my god, the horror of the scene. Actually, I think it's right about here where Nynaeve. I mean, we're not parents, either one of us, so it's we cannot completely relate, thankfully. But like the fact that she, the Trollocs are coming, and she tells her to her daughter, with whom, so presumably she has lived years in this world, because her daughter is now grown up, right? She's like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7. So like that's a lot of years, and for her, this is like a living, like this is her daughter, right? And she's like, okay, I'm gonna take you with me, and she walks through the arch, and her daughter obviously doesn't go with her. It's like, oh my god, the horribleness of, yeah, that's just an insane moment. Luckily, Egwene and Elaine were there, at least to, I mean, not that they can comfort her, but in such a moment. But yeah, what did you have any thoughts on this? How did you feel during that? Because I assume it wasn't nice.
Wasn't nice, and I can make a shameless franchise connection.
Let's go.
If she was dreaming, right? Well, we all know in Inception, when you're dreaming, time slows down. So what could have been minutes were actually hours or days.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. I will take that.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was definitely a heartbreaking scene for sure. And oh, another franchise connection. I don't want to go too much into details for it because it's a newer show, and I don't want to give spoilers. But if you did you watch Severance?
No, not yet.
Okay. How do I loosely? There's similar attributes to that scene that kind of relate to a decision made in the latest season of Severance that was controversial to some. Anyone who watches Severance, hopefully you get that. But if not, maybe put a comment that you want me to clarify, and I'll reply to it. But yeah, that's another connection there. Got 2 for the price
All
of
right.
one.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just trying to now find a certain scene. Okay, I guess this will have to work. This will have to do. So did we go through all of your cool bats?
I think I have 2 more.
Okay,
Yeah, I have 2 more.
let's hear it.
First one, episode 4. Moraine arrives and stabs Celine, revealing she's the Lanfear, a powerful and ancient Forsaken.
That was mine as well.
Okay. I just loved everything about that part of the episode. Like, it was great. So cool.
Yeah, that was terrific. It was like, like the whole time, you're like, okay, what's the thing with Celine? Like, what's with her? What's the stuff she's saying? Like, oh, he says, why are we together? He says, you help me, I don't know, forget. And she's like, oh, and you help me remember. And like this man, and she keeps talking about this other guy, like I don't know, I loved him, he, I don't know, hurt me or whatever. And it's just this whole, what is she, where are we going with this? And then it's like, oh, wow. And that was a twist, because it's like, she's, they're going at it, and then it's like, oh, boop. I mean, actually, it's right. I have the photo. It's this, and like about 3 seconds after this screenshot, right through goes the sword.
Yeah.
And that was cool, and I really enjoyed like that scene of the escape, and like the trickery that Moraine was doing, and like with the horses, and like then letting the horse lady, killing the horses, the spare horses, and
Yes.
then letting the lady keep going as a trick
Yep.
to, Yeah, it was so good. Like, yeah,
It
what
didn't.
did you tell me?
Yeah, everything you just said exactly. I was thinking the same. All the tricks, and then didn't Celine like blow someone up like by like snapping her finger or something? Like it was
Yeah,
insanely brutal. Yeah, the killing of the extra horses on Moraine's part. Like, oh my god. Like, yeah, it was that was the exact scene. Like all like that storyline playing out was when I got hooked on the show. It's like I like the show, but like that part got me hooked. Just like I wanted to know more. So yeah, Celine might end up being my favorite character of this. Let's say favorite villain for sure. Favorite villain.
yeah. I think that's fair to say, and I don't think it's gonna change. I do think it's Isham. Oh well, let's see. There's
Okay.
someone who shows up in season 3, and sadly, it looks like we're not gonna see that the continuation of this race, like between Lanfear and this other character. However, this other character definitely throws their hat in the ring
Ooh.
for competition of this is the best villain. But we will get to that. But yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, this whole I mean, Lanfear is just that like she is what Moraine is for the good guys, she is for the bad guys. Absolutely. 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10, both of them absolutely terrific, absolutely bat. Absolutely super cool. Do you got any more comments here? Oh yeah, or do you want to skip to go to your next one? Next, the cool, the bat.
Yeah, I'll do my last bat. So I think we might have talked about it a little bit. Rima, sacrificing herself to protect the girls, and it's
Mm.
like when she gets captured and all that. Like I thought that scene was pretty well done. The CGI and all that was pretty great too, with the spell casting and explosions. And oh yeah, I think doesn't she lose her her oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Oh my god.
A warder?
Warder, yeah, lost her. She lost her warder, I believe. Yeah, and it kind of built like I guess I'm talking backwards, but like her getting caught was caused by them trying to figure out how the collar works, which we talked
Yeah.
about a little while ago, and like I just like kind of like that tension. So it's like diffusing a bomb, basically. It's like they were dealing with that with magic, and then got caught. And yeah, I really like that scene. So that was my third bat.
Yeah, and the thing with that is it's because Nynaeve cannot control her powers. So she kind of had
Yep.
like this big burst of energy while doing this, or not even a big burst, but like big enough that they got found. And yeah, then that was that kind of culminates in I don't know how to show you this particular photo, so I guess I will not be doing it. Oh, here we go. This culminates in Rima losing her warder and getting captured. But she puts up hell of a fight. Like they really go at it.
Yeah.
Like they do not go down easily. I mean, yeah, that was a great scene. I think that's a good call out. I now wish maybe I went before you because mine isn't such a huge, epically dramatic thing. My last bat was the reveal. I mean, I guess it was mentioned before, but we kind of see it now a bit more. It's called the Telandran Riyadh, which is the world of dreams, or the land of dreams, or I guess the
Hmm.
world of dreams, the dimension of dreams, where we see Ishamael. So in Lanfear's place was actually Rand, and Ishamael was kind of staring at him in his own dream. And then he comes neck close to the Rand and just whispers, "Are you playing games with me, Lanfear?" And then she turns into herself, and you can see like the giggle she has on her mouth. I thought the chemistry between the two of them was pretty good. And he spoke mostly in the old tongue, while she spoke in the new, in like the whatever is the common speech now. And then it's like a really cool dialogue because at the last moment he switches. There's a thing that he says in the end. I forgot what it is, but he switches to the common tongue, suddenly, and it really makes a point with the word that with the sentence that he was saying. So I just thought that was a really cool dynamic, and it's this Talon Riyadh, this world of dreams, is a thing that obviously comes back later, especially in season 3. But also, I mean, that's the place where Moiraine had, like what's the word? Imprisoned Matt and so on. Like, when he was chained to the wheel. Anyway, I just thought this was a really cool moment. It's not very climactic, but it's just like this cool little lore bit that I appreciate now because I know what comes later. So yeah, that's my third bet. Though I guess yours was probably cooler.
I think yours is you're bringing in the lore of a different side of this world, so I think that's great to highlight too. Because yeah, they're using dreams to manipulate people, to contact people, so it's a big part of the story for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of it. Like this new structure worked out. We covered 6 episodes in 1 hour and 10 minutes.
We
So
did it.
whether whether we rename the categories or whatever, but we definitely need to keep it like this. We did it. We did it. Now we're gonna ramble for half an hour more just about nothing, and then to
Let's
keep up
talk
the
about
numbers.
let's talk about how the dream world is similar to how Kylo Ren communicates in the
Yeah, yeah, we
sequel
try
trilogy.
the force tie-ins. Let's do that. Yes, sounds absolutely perfect. The perfect thing we should talk about now. Actually, let's end this on an even nicer note, which is this scene here. Because Matt and we did mention it, but maybe let's just give it a quick shout out because it was really nice to see Matt and Rand again together. Because they have been away since Matt's actor left in season 1, and they had that whole thing where they had to like make a huge detour from the books. So I thought it was really nice, and I thought the chemistry between the two of them, the two actors, it worked really well as well. It was like, okay, yeah, these two are friends, even though the actors haven't acted before this. So I just thought that we can end this on a little bit of a higher note, on a nice thing, even though the teaser at the end of this episode is, if I can find the photo, something that happens. But yeah, what did you think of this little reunion?
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of illustrating the like loss of time together in being a new actor in the series. Like that must have been hard to pull off. And the new actor is growing on me. I think I talked about that in one of the other episodes where I was like, it's different, getting used to, but it's definitely growing on me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I really like him. I really do like him. He really makes me like Matt a lot. I'm not taking anything away from the actor from the first season. I think he also was a good Matt, and he had the hard time. He had to like go through the addiction of the Shadow Dagger of Shadow Logot. So anyway, that was a whole thing. But actually, this is the proper cliffhanger for the next episode. We see Sion Sanche coming to the city, the Kyrian, and she's coming with I think 12 or 14 sisters, which is apparently a lot according to Leandrin. Alana and her two warders stop Rand, and this is where the episode ends. So, and I guess this is where we can end as well, because this is a good cliffhanger for the next episode. So yeah, overall, we are midway through season 2, and I'm happy to hear that you are finally like properly in it. And I think that's about the similar point where I actually got hooked as well. Like midway through season 2, it got me. Do you have any final notes before we say goodbye for tonight?
I think we got to give a special shout out to Nerdy Guns in the comments section. You're keeping us alive because we're like, are we shouting into the void right now? Does anyone care? But you have been consistently commenting. So if anything, we're doing these additional episodes for at least you. So
Yes,
thanks.
yes, Nerdy Guns. This is dedicated to you specifically. Absolutely. Oh my god, I almost forgot we talked about this. We wanted to shout you out, and I got distracted. Sorry, I think I have ADHD. Um, yeah, thank you so much. It's really nice to have at least this one specific person coming back for every video, just being like, heck yeah. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And also, thanks to everybody who does tune in. We do kind of get like a consistent number of people, which I'm not gonna say because it's not very high, but we do get it. And you're all appreciated, especially people who actually come to the end of every episode. So yeah, heck yeah, you're great. We appreciate you. We appreciate the show. I appreciate Shiv. Shiv, thank you so much for being here as well.
Appreciate
As
you
always,
as well.
aren't we all sweet? We are all just the best. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for tonight, and it is very late at night where I'm at, but here we are. This has been episodes 3 to 6 of season 2 of Wheel of Time. Next week we are going through episodes 7 and 8, finishing season 2, and let's see if it's going to be a strong finish and what Shiv will think of the Wheel of Time season 2. Until then, have a good rest of the week. Keep an eye out on our socials. We might be having some nice new ideas for streams very soon because we are planning some trivia things, like a trivia evening with the Lord of the Rings theme. We will be maybe talking a bit more about Superman and Fantastic Four, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on. There's been a trailer for Avatar. I don't know if we'll get to all of this, but we might. We hope. We hope. Um, there's been a trailer for Mortal Kombat. There's a lot of cool things going on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll, especially once we're done with covering Wheel of Time, we will diversify way more what we are covering on this podcast. But yeah, thank you so much, and until the next time, take care and see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.